Hi, this is Attorney Max Mizejewski. Today I'm going to be talking about DUI diversion. What is it, and do you really need to have a lawyer if you're eligible for DUI diversion in Oregon? So first, let's talk about what diversion is. A lot of people call those classes that you have to take diversion, but that's not what diversion is. Those are the alcohol and drug treatment classes that are a requirement for anybody that enters DUI diversion or is convicted of a DUI. So those are those classes that you're going to have to go to. It's about 3 or 4 months, 90 days minimum. You're going to have to provide clean urine samples at the beginning, middle, and end to demonstrate sobriety. Those classes are about once a week for an hour or two, places like Serenity Lane, Willamette Family, Chrysalis, and you'll have to complete that program of treatment and get the certificate of completion. You'll also have to attend a victim impact panel. That's a one-time presentation. Those are pretty interesting. I've checked them out. You'll hear from people maybe that have been affected by drinking and driving, or police that have made some serious drunk driving arrests, and show some maybe pretty interesting videos. Try to kind of scare you from ever doing that kind of thing again. So that's the victim impact panel. Now, to enter diversion and complete it, you'd also make an agreement with the court that you're not going to drink any alcohol for the entire 1 year that you're on diversion. Diversion is a 1-year program, and you're not going to use any controlled substance without a valid prescription from your doctor, and then used only as prescribed. This includes cannabis. Cannabis is not allowed while you're on DUI diversion. However, there is a prescription drug called Marinol, which is synthetic THC, and that's something you might be able to use. So you could talk to your attorney about that. And so that is the agreement with the court not to drink or use any intoxicants for the full year. Now, you'd also have to not get another DUI, no other alcohol-related offenses. If you provide a breath sample that's 0.08 or greater, you're going to have an ignition interlock device, or if it's a controlled substance and there's any amount of alcohol, you'd need an ignition interlock device. If you provide a breath sample of less than 0.08 only and no controlled substances, then we can usually get the judge to waive that ignition interlock device. Or if it's a purely controlled substance case like prescription medications, cannabis DUI, whatever it might be, no alcohol, then we can usually waive that ignition interlock device requirement. So diversion means you're being diverted from a conviction by jumping through those hoops that are imposed by the court. As long as you do all of that, at the end of the 1 year, then the court will dismiss that DUI. Now, if you hire an attorney, we would be your attorney of record that entire 1 year time frame, and we would get sent what's called a show cause. If the court thinks that there's any issues with you completing your diversion properly, we'd have a chance to go back to court and contest that, or potentially negotiate something with the prosecutor. Say you blew into an ignition interlock device with alcohol on your breath, or failed a urine test at treatment, whatever it might be. You know, there's an opportunity to hopefully save your diversion so that it's not revoked, so that you don't get convicted. Because in order to enter diversion, you have to plead guilty or no contest to that underlying DUI charge. So if anything goes wrong on that, you are going to go back and just be sentenced on the DUI. You'll have waived any opportunity to go to trial and contest the case. So that's kind of what diversion is. Are you eligible for diversion? Well, that'll depend on if you've ever had a DUI before. If you haven't ever had a DUI, or it's been more than 15 years, and you do not have a commercial driver's license, and there was no children in the car, and there was no accident where somebody other than yourself was injured, then you probably will be eligible for DUI diversion. Then the question comes up, well, you know, I know I'm going to have to pay this $490 diversion filing fee. I know you're trying to save money, save expenses. Do you really need an attorney if you have an Oregon case and you're eligible for diversion? Well, you'll have to make that decision. You know, if it's a simple, straightforward DUI, so you didn't signal a lane change, got stopped, blew a .10, well, you might just want to throw in the towel, do diversion, do it on your own. People have done that. I will tell you that when you go in to court, the judge is going to strongly encourage you to have an attorney, because you're facing significant penalties if anything were to go wrong with your diversion, such as that maximum up to 364 days in jail, $6,000 in fines, license suspension, all of that. So you want to make sure that is the right option for you before you're doing that. Another reason you might want to get an attorney or would need an attorney on a diversion eligible case is if you have other charges associated with the DUI. Say there's a reckless driving or reckless endangering another person, a hit and run, something like that. Well, you might be eligible for diversion on the DUI, but you're still going to negotiate a resolution on those other matters with the DA or prosecutor, or potentially do diversion on the DUI and go to trial on something like the reckless driving. You might be able to beat that, just depends on what the driving was like. And so that's kind of gives you a sense of what the diversion program is, and if you feel like you need to hire an attorney to assist you through that process. If you have any questions about your case, if you think you might be diversion eligible, not diversion eligible, whatever the situation is, you can give us a call and we'd be happy to have a free consultation and talk more about your DUI case.